This is a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports. WAAY 31, your home for high school football.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night. Hello, Alabama, find a comfortable spot. We got high school football and it's coming out high. Now here we are and the lights are shining bright. Yeah, WAAY 31 is rocking all right. Nolan, Max, Xavier, and Antonio. It's the McCurry Band and Car Rental Big Game Friday night.
A battle of unbeatens in Class 4A Region 7 as Rogers heads to West Morgan in our big game Friday night Game of the Week.
Well, it's a Madison County showdown in Region 8. Westminster and Randolph square off in our rivalry game of the week.
Hello and welcome into the Week 4 edition of Big Game Friday Night, everyone. I'm Nolan Knight, joined here by my co-anchor Max Cohan, and man, what a start to the season we've had.
Yeah, you can say that. We're about halfway through the season and already season standings and region standings starting to take shape.
Yeah, that's right. In Class 4A Region 7, 3 teams entered the night undefeated and 2 squared off in our Big Game Friday Night Game of the Week. Our Xavier WAAY was at West Morgan High School for all the action.
3 teams remain unbeaten in Class 4A Region 7 play, and tonight 2 of them would clash against one another. The West Morgan Rebels would host the Rogers Pirates, and both teams come into this one at 4-0. And look, last time these 2 teams played, a spot in the playoffs was on the line. So a year later, how would these 2 teams fare in Week 4, where only one can walk out of here both undefeated on the season and in region play? This is our Big Game Friday Night Game of the Week.
We travel to Trinity, home of the 4-0 West Morgan Rebels, where they host the 4-0 Rogers Pirates in this Class 4A Region 7 matchup. And we pick this one up in the first. Braxton Peters takes the snap and hands it off to Jalen Fletcher, who sheds 3 Pirates defenders on his way to picking up a Rebels first down. And that first down put West Morgan in great field position to strike first in this one. Jeremy Strong takes it up the gut for 6. Rebels would lead 7-0. However, Rogers would look to respond. Quarterback Brock Killen, he's going to take the snap and float it down the middle to a wide open Ethan Mahers, and that big gain would move the chains for the Pirates. However, their drive would stall and the Pirates would be forced to punt, but thanks to their defense, they would get it back in a major way. Check out Rogers, Darby Clemens with the red zone interception, and he has nothing but green grass ahead of him as he takes this one over 90 yards for the pick 6. Rogers would enter the locker room, however, down 21-9 at the half. And the West Morgan Rebels would prove to be too much for the Rogers Pirates with a wire-to-wire 35-16 victory.
And the final score in this one is West Morgan 35, Rogers 16. I'm with West Morgan head coach Drew Phillips. Coach, what a difference a year makes.
Yeah, I was proud of our guys. I thought they came out today. We didn't play our best ball, but, credit to Rogers. They do a really good job. That was a physical football game, 2 really good teams, and, I'm proud of the way our guys responded through some adversity.
Speaking of that adversity, there were 2 key interceptions in that first quarter. What were you telling your guys to just kind of bounce back from that?
Just play the next play. We gave one up, and the guy made a good play for Rogers, and, our guys, I felt like they responded. The very next play, we put our hand on the extra point. So, that's what we always talk about, playing the next play, and I'm proud of what they did right there.
Coach, this is a big-time region win. What does that mean for you and your program?
Man, we just got to keep playing. We get an off week right here coming up. We got to take the time right there to iron some things out, really go back to some fundamental stuff and work on us.
And again, the final score in this one is 35-16 as the West Morgan Rebels defeat the Rogers Pirates. And West Morgan, they wanted to avenge last year's loss against Rogers when they lost 20-23, and they definitely did so tonight in dominating fashion. But for now, reporting in Trinity, Xavier WAAY, WAAY 31 Sports.
So it's West Morgan that moves to 3-0 in the region standings with that win.
Yeah, and the only other team that entered the night undefeated in that region was Deshler. They were on the road tonight taking on Wilson, and it was homecoming night for Wilson. The fans excited to see if they can get their first win of the season, but this Deshler team, man, are they talented. Wilson trying to get the triple option going, but the Deshler D all over it. It's CJ Jackson who scoops it up. He's going to take that one the other way. 42 yards to the house, the old scoop and score. Wilson would try to get something going in this one. Coming up, a nice 22-yard pickup, but in the end, it's Deshler who remains undefeated. They take down Wilson on the road tonight, 55-13.
Another big game that took place tonight in Class 7A, that's the James Clemens Jets looking to build on their win from last week. So over to Madison City Stadium, where the Jets are looking for just their second win of the year and fifth consecutive over the Falcons. But Florence quarterback Leo Glover had other plans. The junior rolls to his left, but then decides to go to the right, and boy was he right, breaking free for the huge gain, and Glover would do his best Robbie Ashford impression again to cap this drive off, hitting the spin cycle as he crosses the goal line to give the Falcons a 7-0 lead. On defense, the Falcons kept the Jets grounded, limiting connections like this one from Gio Lopez to Kamari Pittman to a short gain, and that one would be followed up by a punt. So now driving again, Glover shows off the cannon, letting one rip downfield to Tarion Cunningham, and what a grab it was. Florence would be held to a field goal on that drive, but run away with this one, 38-20.
Grissom's another team hoping to turn things around in Region 4. The Tigers on the road tonight, taking on Sparkman, a big 7A matchup. Both these teams looking for a win to rise up in those Region 4 standings, and the Senators were driving in this one. Josh Ward back to pass, going to connect with Carmelo Montgomery for a big Sparkman first down, but this Grissom defense would stand tall. Ward trying to make something happen in the red zone, lets one rip, but it's into the hands of Isaiah Lawrence as he comes up with the big INT for the Tigers. But after Grissom would have to punt, the Senators would come out again looking to air it out. And again, the Grissom DBs would make the stand. This time, Cole Porter snagging the pick for Grissom as he says that he's got him locked up, but the Senators would break free. Ward again, this time fighting his man, Matthew Rozier. He's into the end zone for 6. Sparkman runs away with this one at home big, 57-0. Here's a look at the other 7A scores from this weekend at Albertville tonight. Austin moves to 3-0 in region play with the win over the Aggies, while Huntsville last night took down Bob Jones on the road in a Thursday night showdown, 28-24.
At Madison Academy, the Mustangs hoping to turn things around after a slow 1-2 start. They faced off against region foe Danville tonight. So we head over to Bill Washington Stadium, where a blowout is in progress. Up 28-0 on Danville near the end of the first half. The Mustangs are still in full stride on offense. Ken Sherry on the handoff, and he picks the right lane and is off to the races for what looks like a Madison Academy touchdown. Bad news, it gets called back. The good news, at least for Mustang fans, is that they get the points anyway. Carson Crehan with a floater to Jaden Etienne, who comes down with it in the end zone. Mustangs up 35 points. Danville would have the chance to score right before the end of the break, but a fumble on the snap gives the ball right back to Madison Academy. Mustangs pick up win number 2, steamrolling the Hawks 48-0. And Vinemont sat in first place in Class 3A Region 7 entering the night, but fell to Susan Moore 29-22, while Asbury hosted JP Pennington, and the Tigers win big 47-0. All right, well, let's blow the whistle for our first time out of the night.
Yeah, but don't touch that remote. Coming up next, we head to Westminster, where the Wildcats hosted Randolph in our rivalry game of the week.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night. Everyone, thanks for joining us tonight.
We had another great week of matchups like our rivalry game of the week, where the undefeated Wildcats took on a talented Randolph squad.
Yeah, Westminster hoping to remain undefeated tonight for homecoming, and man, they jumped out to a quick lead. Second play of the game, and quarterback Brandon Mush is shot out of a cannon down the far sideline. No one can catch him. He's in for the score as the Wildcats jump out to a 7-0 lead just like that. But the Raiders would respond with their drive. Hand off to Nick Strong, and after one cut, he's in for 6. But the Raiders wouldn't stop there. Andrew Hunter back to pass for Randolph, and he connects with Grayson Davenport for the big pickup, and then add on another Nick Strong touchdown run, and the Raiders would take a 14-7 lead. They keep up the momentum, and they take home the win, 53-20. Some really talented teams in Class 4A Region 8 this year.
The other undefeated team in that region is Priceville. The Bulldogs in action tonight on the road taking on New Hope. And this Indians defense has been impressive this season, but could they stop the Bulldogs? That was the question. Early on, it was the Priceville defense impressing. Xander Gaines coming up with the INT for the Bulldogs to begin the game. and then a few plays later, they'd find the end zone for the first lead of the game. Mason Carty slicing his way into pay dirt for the first points of the game. Wyatt Bolden would try to get something going for New Hope, scrambling for a first down pickup here, but the Bulldogs would end their stride. It's Gaines again, this time on the offensive sides of things. He's down the far sideline, and no one's going to catch him. In for the score easily. Priceville dominates in this one, 40-0, the final. So here's a look at the other action from 4A Region 8. Madison County hit the road to take on DAR, and the Tigers leave with the 28-0 victory, while last night JP2 fell at North Jackson in a back-and-forth game, 21-14.
At Milton Frank Stadium tonight, the Lee Generals were back in action, taking on Coleman in a region showdown. We'll pick this one up in the second quarter. Lee trailing 27-0, but not for long. They would dial up some plays on offense and get on the board. LaShawn Van back to pass for the Generals, and he's going to lob one up for Adrian Mitchell, and the wideout comes down with it to put the Generals on the board. But that Coleman team was pounding the rock tonight. Who said the fullback position is dead? Big first down pickup for the Bearcats here, but after a fumble, the Generals are back on the attack. Van back to pass again. This time airs one out, and Brandon Johnson is on the other end of it to put Lee right back in the game. But in the end, the Bearcats take home the W, 53-13.
Speaking of 6A, the early season surprise has been Decatur, 4-0 to start for the first time since 2010. Tonight they hosted Hazel Green in a non-region game. So over to Ogle, where the Red Raiders are hoping to start 5-0. First quarter, Dayton swoops, and the handoff right there. Swoop, there it is. A quick score for Decatur, but Hazel Green brought the big plays too. Check out this insane catch by Nehemiah Granberry. Ball hits him right on the mitts and pops out, but he still came down with it. And a couple plays later, Armand Caldwell pushes the ball across and scores from the 1-yard line. But this game was Decatur's all the way. Going for it on 4th and 9, Ellis Dickman says, "I am that guy, pal." A perfect dime to Kevin Duke for a Red Raider touchdown as Decatur moves to 5-0 with the 48-14 dub. Hartselle looking like North Alabama's one of their best squads, at least this year again, and they were on the road at Gadsden City tonight, winning 16-9, while last night Mae Jemison fell to Athens 47-6 at Milton Frank Stadium.
And before we go, let's squeeze in one more matchup out at Arab tonight. The Knights found themselves hosting Scottsboro. The 4-0 Arab Knights welcoming in a talented 2-1 Wildcats team of Scottsboro. The Knights leading 21-7 in the third on their own 21 when Drake Franklin powers through for an Arab first down. The next up, Aiden Cox with the quick pass to Hayden O'Reilly. He picks up a big gain, and that would lead to a score for the Arab Knights. Second and goal for the Knights when Franklin goes low. He bulldozes his way in for 6 to give Arab a 27-7 lead as they remain undefeated. In the end, the Knights win it 28-7. That was the final. They now look forward to a matchup against Fort Payne next week. All right, well, let's take this time now to call our second timeout of the night.
But don't go anywhere. When we return, we head back out to Sand Mountain to see if Boaz had what it takes to take down Guntersville.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday. It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
We are the West Morgan Drumline, and you're watching Big Game Friday night on WAAY 31 News.
All right, a big congratulations to the West Morgan Marching Band for winning this week's Flow Air Spirit Award.
The atmosphere at West Morgan Games is something to experience, and the marching band is a huge reason why. So well deserved.
Yeah, that's right. How about we get back to some football and head out to Guntersville, where the Wildcats were hosting Boaz in a big Class 6A Region 8 showdown. Guntersville, the home team in this one, but it would be the Boaz team that would get their offense going first. Presley Fan would get things started, busting through the line of scrimmage for a big first down pickup, running hard. But that drive would end, and Guntersville would get their offense going. Julian Jordan takes this handoff. He's around the right side for a big first down before he's finally pushed out of bounds. And it wouldn't take much longer for Guntersville to find the end zone. Antonio Spurgeon takes the snap, calls his own number, cuts across the field. He's in for the score. Guntersville with an impressive win at home tonight. Final score 62-14. Another Sand Mountain team in action tonight. Sardis hosted Crossville, and Sardis takes the battle of the Lions, winning this one 36-14.
Let's head out to Florence for this next one. Central in action tonight, hosting Brooks. Both these teams have a chance to be good this season, but a win tonight is important. We'll pick up early in the first quarter when Bryant Handback drops back and connects with Jerry Yarby. He goes up to get that one for the Central score. New Brooks head coach Tim Bowens on the sidelines trying to get something going. They'd pick up a few here with this end around to Maddox Harden, but it just wasn't enough as the Lions fall on the road at Central 35-28. At West Limestone tonight, both the Wildcats and Eagles were looking for their first region win, and West Limestone comes out on top 48-13, the final.
Yeah, and speaking of trying to get their first wins at Woodville tonight, the Panthers were hosting Vina. Both teams looking for that first victory of the season, and Woodville would get things started early. Sam Peak takes off out of the shotgun here, and he's going to give himself 6. He just jogs into the end zone for the touchdown. The Red Devils would try to strike back. Wyatt Kennedy going deep, but Peak snags the interception. He's all over the place tonight. Peak with the big INT on defense, and then he's going to show off his arm strength. Check out this play. Goes deep to Ryshard Rosas. The junior brings it in with one hand, spins on the sideline, and heads towards the end zone. He's in for the score. Woodville built on that 36-6 halftime lead to win this one by a final of 58-26 tonight.
At Fallsville tonight in 2A Region 8, the Blue Devils were hosting a 3-1 Hatton team. A great atmosphere down I-65 as these two teams are getting together. And tonight, it's early for the Hornets. Quarterback Bailey Kirby throws a pick to Blue Devils' Isaiah Warwick, who returns it for the touchdown, an early 7-0 lead. A little later, down 14, the Hornets try to get back in the game but are shut down, and it's a little too late as Devils quarterback Caden Burnett is on the move and finds himself in the end zone for a 49-yard touchdown. The Blue Devils win this one 21-6. Taking a look at some other Region 8 scores, Red Bay takes down Hackleburg 58-24, while Tanner and Sheffield squared off, and the Bulldogs grind out a close one 48-47. And Tharptown was on the road for the other 2A Region 8 game, taking on Lexington, and the Golden Bears take this one easily 53-18. All right, well, let's use our third timeout of the night right now.
Yeah, but coming up next, we share with you our fan of the night. Tonight's coming from our rivalry game of the week. Don't go anywhere.
Stay tuned for more Big Game Friday nights on WAAY 31.
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
You're watching Big Game Friday night. Go Wildcats!
It's the McCurry Big Game Friday night.
All right, welcome back into Big Game Friday night. Let's take a look at some more scores from across the region.
All right, we begin in 3A where Mars Hill Bible dominated Elkmont 69-8, and Lauderdale County took down Colbert County with a shutout 29-0.
Yeah, big win there. Over in 2A Region 7, it's the Pisgah Eagles who fly high, taking this one 42-10 over the Eider Hornets. Sylvania, they took home a win in their region matchup, beating Geraldine 41-24. And in 5A Region 8, the Brewer Patriots pick up a win on the road. They take down Lawrence County tonight 21-7. All right, welcome back everybody. Now let's change things up a little bit and talk our fan of the night.
Yeah, let's wrap up our high school football coverage with our premier urgent care fan of the night. This week we head out to Westminster where the Randolph game, and our fan is Jimmy Bailey.
I'm Jimmy Bailey, and I'm the Big Game Friday Night fan of the night. Go Raiders!
All right, Bailey, a senior at Randolph High School, plays on the baseball team and is actually the Rowdy Raiders student leader, so he leads that big student section there. So big congratulations to Jimmy Bailey once again for being this week's premier urgent care fan of the night. And we would also like to take this time to thank our radio sponsors for helping make this show possible. as well as all of our shooters and producers who make this show possible as well. As for tomorrow, it's another busy day for college football as week 3 of the season kicks off.
The Crimson Tide are back at home as they host Louisiana Monroe in a non-conference showdown before they begin conference play next week.
Yeah, and over at Jordan-Hare tomorrow, you'll be on the scene for this one, Max, to see Auburn host their biggest non-conference home game since 2013.
Yeah, that's right. Penn State comes to town. The Tigers hoping to avenge a 28-20 loss on the road a year ago.
While around here, Alabama A&M, they'll host Austin Peay. In North Alabama, they'll hit the short road trip up in Chattanooga. All right, well, let's wrap things up here for Big Game Friday night.
But before we go, I'd like to thank everybody, our shooters, our producers, everyone in the back for helping make this possible.
Even Clayton, our floor director tonight, getting a shout out. We'll finish the same way we do each week with our Big Game Friday night top lights. Good night, everybody. See you next week.
Watching a special presentation of WAAY 31 Sports.